cultural diversity is on the rise. So it is important for us as educators to promote cultural diversity in our classroom, and the way we do that is by providing specific resources and learning opportunities to our children. It helps them feel more safe, secure, and included in our classroom. Now, it also has the added benefit of not just the student who is from a different background, but all of our students, because it teaches them how to empathize with each other. It develops their critical thinking skills and also encourages students to think from different perspectives. Now, promoting cultural diversity also has the added benefit because it allows kids to improve their academic, their social, and their emotional learning skills. It gives them the ability to feel included in the curriculum because they see that they are represented in it. So let's look at 4 different ways that we can embrace cultural diversity or promote it in our classroom. The first one is to get to know your children in depth. So not just get to know them on a superficial level where we're looking at, oh, what's your name? Where do you come from? Tell me a little bit about your culture. Like, a lot of teachers do that, but it's just very, very base level. There's nothing to it. Children just they feel appeased for that moment, but then they feel like their voice is no longer heard. So what I like to do is I like to go in depth with this. And the way I do this is I've created 2 different resources for you because I've used it in my classroom and I love it. Is we have looked at it from a project-based learning perspective. So this particular lesson is going to take you all the way from the beginning stages of brainstorming to the very end of where they're presenting it. It is going to take quite a few lessons because we are going to depth. So this could be part of your social studies or your language arts or your really presenting, so theater, any form of your curriculum, you can integrate it in there. Now, this allows your children to feel like they're actually heard, to feel like their life and their culture matters, but it also allows other children to see the beauty of different cultures, and they're learning about different cultures. And it's not just, oh, I am Canadian, or oh, I'm from the United States, but it's, where does my family come from? Where do I come from? Who am I really? And that's what we're going for there, right? We're looking at ourselves. It promotes positive self-thinking. It allows them to really feel connected with who they are, and that's important there. So that's step number 1. Number 2 is include different voices. So when you're reading literature to your children, or you're studying social studies with your children, instead of just looking at one book from one author, look at different literature pieces from different authors and different backgrounds, because then we get to really flesh out whose voice is being heard, whose voice is not being represented, and why is it not being represented? Because this allows our kids to go into that critical thinking skills, and it allows them to, instead of just taking even media at face value, right? Because there's just so many people that are just like, oh, the news, it's telling us exactly what we know, and we must believe it. Or tabloids, we must believe everything they say. It teaches them to not take this at face value and really do some research and look in depth and look at whose voice is being heard, whose voice is not being heard, why is it not being heard. You see, so this is why we want to go into more depth. This can be done for children as young as grade 1 all the way up to grade 12 and beyond. How you approach it would be a little bit differently. Okay. Number 3 is integrate student voice. So here, oftentimes in a lesson, we teach them how to do a specific thing. Let's take math, for example. We teach them how to solve a math equation in 1 or 2 or 3 ways, but what I found now is that children from different backgrounds, they've learned how to solve some of these equations in different ways. And instead of just saying, okay, you can do it your way, or just leave, or, no, we're going to do it this way, it's really great for them to also showcase what they've learned, because for one, it helps with their self-esteem and to feel connected to the class, but it also would speak to a child that might be struggling with a method that you've shown. This new method might speak to them. And so this is one of the reasons we might want to integrate different voices. Another thing also is to just take a moment to have your children have your children learn how to speak their own language. And when I say learn how to, I mean allow them to feel safe speaking their own language. This is going to be based on your own school's culture, because every school is different. Some schools insist that they speak the language. That means for us, it might be English, right? But for different schools, different classrooms, different rules. So in my classroom, my rules mean you get to speak your language, provided you are not being mean to another person or making fun of another person or thing of theirs. It is important that they speak their language. It allows them to feel connected. It allows them to feel confident in their culture. And also, children naturally speak and think in their own language. So if you want them to learn a new language or a new skill, they're going to first think about it in their language. So it helps them learn faster what you want them to learn if they're allowed to learn and speak in their own language. Which now brings me to the next section. Is number 4 is provide buddies. So allow them to buddy up with someone from their own cultural background, preferably someone who speaks the language, because it, if they need support, it gives them the ability to ask that person, but also it allows them to speak their language and feel connected. And this buddy does not always have to be somebody in your class, because you might not have someone who, let's say you've got someone from, from Tokyo in your class. You might not have another child who is from Tokyo in your class, but you might have somebody in grade 7 or grade 6 who is from Tokyo. You could pair them up. They could help each other in that way as well. So there's just so many different ways that you can promote cultural diversity. Let's go over, let's recap really quickly what we talked about. We've looked at the importance of promoting cultural diversity in your classroom, and we looked at 4 different ways that you could do that. Number 1, get to know your students in depth. Number 2, include the different voices. Number 3, integrate your students' voices. And number 4, provide buddies. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to contact me anytime. In the meantime, remember to create experience and teach from the heart. Thank you so much for joining me, and take care.